So in this video, I'm just going to waffle on about a few pre-checks you need to do before you take your bike for an MOT. Simple things just to check, and all it takes is time, and it could save you a lot of money in the long run. Don't take your bike down with only a little bit of fuel. Make sure you're giving it a good run as well. Make sure it's okay. Yeah, just check your fuel filler cap. Make sure that the rubber gasket around the top hasn't got any splits. Make sure it's got a good seal and there's no leaks. Make sure your brakes are working. I'm sure you'll know anyway, because if you've been going hurtling down a hill and you find you've had to climb on for dear life and it's a butt clenching moment, then pretty much your brakes have gone. Check the condition of your forks, especially the seals. You don't want any splits or cracks. That allows any of the fork oil to leak out. If you've got any oil present around the base or around the seals, that means they're leaking and they will need replacing. There's no point putting it in for an MOT if you've got leaks, because it's just going to fail. So make sure you check them thoroughly. Now, don't be fooled by the outer dust seal, thinking that you can just change that, because the actual seal is the inner one. There are actually two seals here. The outer one is the dust seal. The actual fork seal is inside. So make sure that when you check them or you want to change them, don't just change the top or the outer one. Also check the condition of the actual fork tubes themselves. The fork tubes have got to be rust free, no pits in them, because at the end of the day, all they'll do is, if you've got any rusting or pitting, it'll just, you put some new seals in, it'll just wear them out straight away and you'll be right back to square one. It's just a false economy. So check the condition of your chain and sprockets. Have a look in the owner's manual. It'll tell you how to set up your chain or how much slack you should have. It's not a fail having a bit of slack on the chain, but you don't want it over tight, because what that'll do is it'll put unnecessary wear on the bearings and any seals that you have down there in the sprocket. Check all your light and indicator bulbs. They're relatively inexpensive. If you don't, and you end up with a failed bulb for an MOT, what could end up costing £1.50 can end up costing you like £30 and more. It's not really worth it for the sake of just a few quid. Just change them. Not only are you checking all your lights and your indicators, make sure there's no cracks in any of the lenses or brakes, anything that can allow water to get in. Water seeping in. So make sure there's no cracks or breaks. We don't want water seeping in. All you got to do, make sure you check your tyres. It's simple, right? Basically, make sure you got your treads all right. There's no splits in your tyres. The tyre pressure's okay. That's all you got to do. Nice, easy job. Make sure you check your discs. Make sure they're in good condition. Again, easy. You can replace them, and you can put the parts that you want, not what the dealer puts on. Make sure your brake fluid levels are correct. This is for the front, and this is for the rear. You need to check your mirrors, make sure there's no cracks or breaks in the mirrors. Both, of course, not just one. Check my other video for finding faults on your suspension. Any play in your suspension is an MOT failure. If you've got an exhaust like mine with a race can, make sure you've got your baffle in. It is an MOT failure. They do sound better without it though. Finally, make sure your bike's nice and clean and tidy when you take it in for your MOT. If there's anything loose or broken, fix it or tie it down, or use a bit of gaffer tape or cable ties. Even if it's just temporary, it looks better than leaving it just hanging off and flapping around. Hopefully I've given you some good pointers there, so when you take your bike for your next MOT, you're a little bit more prepared. I'll see you in the next video.